Hey everybody, before we start the episode, we want to let you know that we are doing our first ever live show at Dallas Comedy Club on Sunday, October 30, where we will be discussing all of the Nightmare on Elm Street films. You can purchase tickets by clicking on the link in the description or by visiting dallas-comedyclub.com. I hope you're not too chicken to be there.
You should do a sleep analogy.
Don't sleep on this one, chickens.
Okay. Huh. Wow, Conrad, I'm so glad we were able to record on location for tonight's film fights.
You said it, Jono. And nice job securing this totally secure and secluded spot to do the show at an abandoned Camp Crystal Lake themed amusement park and summer camp.
Shut up. Did you hear that?
Ah! It's Jason's Deli. Our Uber Eats is here.
Oh, nice. Wait, what was that?
Oh, no! It's a hockey mask! A raid ball next door. Don't worry. They won't disturb our recording.
Neat. Ah! My back!
Oh, my God! A machete! On DVD, starring Danny Trejo. Couldn't spring for a copy on Blu-ray, huh, Jono? We have both been cut in half.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Film Fights. Oh! I am your fearless, spooky host, Jono Rodriguez. And with me, of course, is my spooky, kooky, altogether kooky, ookie, mookie, jookie, lookie, tookie, kooky, Wookie.
We're not talking about Star Wars.
Chewbacca Hartman. I mean, Chewbacca Hart. To Conrad Hartman. Hey, Conrad. I'm sorry, all these Jason movies have fucked me
Oh
up.
my God.
How are you doing? Are you doing good?
Man, I'm great. I got to tell you, I am very excited to wrap up our month of horror movie franchises. My brain is also fucking fried.
I thought you were making a mummy joke for some reason with the wrap up. I was like, no, we did Jason movies. Oh, your brain is fried.
Maybe next year we'll do Universal Monsters.
Oh, yes, maybe.
You see, folks, those of you just joining our show for the first time, of course, welcome. But normally here on Film Fights, we pick a couple of movies, we pit them against one another in a brutal grudge match, with one of them coming out on top to reign supreme. We are wrapping up our franchise frenzy pre the live show recording episodes with the most extensively sequeled horror movie franchise of all time. It's on Wikipedia, so you know it must be true.
Yes.
Friday the 13th.
Let's get into it. Yes, with the first movie, which is called
Friday the 13th, the very first beginning again.
No, come on. This is an official movie podcast.
You're right.
Friday the 13th, Part 1 is what it's called.
So, we open to some dumbass hitchhiker being like, oh, I'm going over to this camp. And they're like, what camp? That's scary camp. And she's like, what?
No. No, we open.
Oh, that's right.
With
in the past.
Yeah, like in 1952, like when scary slashers were on the radio. Don't you know?
It's in the like 70. It's in the 70.
It's in the 70. That's right. Yeah.
I mean, that's what that's what we call 1970. We call it the 70s.
Well, I know. Back then they didn't call decades by their formal name.
Back then they didn't have time. They were technology was moving real fast. They didn't have time to say 1970. They had to cut it by one syllable. They're like, yeah, the 70.
No. No. What I mean is that like they didn't say, oh, the 70s back then. They said, oh, 73 because they had sharper memories back then.
Back then, they didn't say the 70s because they just said now.
Hey, yeah, did you remember now when Jason killed everybody? He's doing it again.
Isn't it crazy that we wear bell bottoms in the now?
Oh man, disco is dead now. The movie starts with like Kumbaya camp.
They're literally
counselors.
singing. Yeah, they're singing Hallelujah, not the Leonard Cohen one about the secret chord that
we're gonna get
David
struck.
play that please the Lord or whatever.
Yeah,
this is the one where they're singing Hallelujah, and then they're like, "Oh, that was nice. Let's all go fuck.
Let's go have freaky sex on a hay bale."
To be fair, they didn't know the sex was going to be freaky. They thought it was going to be regular, and then what I guess the audience assumes is Jason, even though they haven't met Jason yet.
Yeah, this is in 1980 when the movie came out. We're like, oh, I can't wait for Jason to come out. And Friday the 13th, this movie I've never heard of, which is a ripoff of Halloween. No, they were saying, I can't wait till Michael Myers comes out.
So there we are. And they're like, oh, no, you're going to kill us now.
Right. No, they're like, oh, hey, it's you. I feel like, shit. No, Sleepaway Camp came after this.
I just like, they're like, ugh, I feel like shit.
I felt like shit watching all these movies. No, but
yeah.
No, but like it was similar to Sleepaway Camp, and I think Sleepaway Camp stole this adage where it's like
Sleepaway
where
Camp,
people, and then like the POV of like the killer, and then
POV
they go,
is my favorite,
and then they look and they go, oh, it's you, like it's a recognizable character. Oh, it's you. Sorry, we were just fucking, and we shouldn't have been doing that.
So this movie did kind of help define the, like, you know, the quote-unquote rules of horror movies as far as, like, the morality goes. Like, oh, you know, you have sex, you're gonna get the...
Vexed.
There it is. Yeah. You do the deed, you're getting steamed.
You do the fucking, and then you get a bucking off the horse of life.
Yeah. Yeah. You smoke the dope, you get the rope. You know what I mean?
You pop her cherry, it's gonna get scary. Pause the record.
Several times later, here we are at the camp, and old man Ralph is telling people there's a death curse and they're gonna die at camp. And
yeah, he says
like,
he goes. It's very reminiscent of Poltergeist Man because he's like, you're all gonna die.
He has this weird, like, affected, almost sounds like quasi-British. It's got a death curse.
Well, like, we can't forget him saying the doom. You're all doomed. You're doomed.
You're all doomed.
You're all gonna doom in that.
Right. And so they, like, you know, they think that he's, like, giving them a sincere warning, but what the camera didn't capture is after it went away, after, like, the camera pulled away and they left, he was like, I keep my underwear in the microwave. Like...
That's how
I've got a backpack full of acorns with your name on each and every one.
I'll never tell.
And then we get beautiful Kevin motherfucking Bacon. For a second, I was like, is that his name? One of the most famous actors of the 20th and 21st century.
I mean, there's a famous film game named after him.
I know. I guess I still just can't believe his name is Kevin. It's not the bacon part that throws me. It's that there's famous people named Kevin. Yeah, so we've got Scary Ralph Man being like, don't go there. Anytime an old man tells you not to go somewhere, I would probably not go there unless, well, I have had old men tell me not to go places, and I've definitely gone there and had a great time. So.
Oh, the places you won't go. You know that Dr. Seuss book that never got published?
Yeah, and there are a lot of old men telling you like not to go in clinics, and you're like, don't tell me.
Don't get the COVID booster.
Yeah, when you're walking into CVS, and he's like, don't get the Moderna. It has a death curse. Anyway, so we've got a new group of camp counselors ready to rock and roll. Oh, one of them dies on the way there. And then they're just ready to rock and roll, and they're all excited to fuck Kevin Bacon.
Oh,
and,
man,
like,
I felt so bad about the hitchhiker. Because
she was so sweet.
She was so spunky and cute and like, oh, you know, although, in retrospect, very irresponsible to be a camp counselor and be hitchhiking to the camp.
I mean, I guess, except that, I mean, camp counselors aren't like registered therapists. They're not like professionals. They're just some dumbass kids that are like older enough from the kids at the camp to boss them around and be like,
but can you
get out of that lake, stupid.
So you're saying they're basically like babysitters, but can you imagine if you were a parent of a child and you were like, hey, me and my hubbers are going to the opera tonight. We need a babysitter. And they call a babysitter, and the babysitter's like, oh, I got to hitchhike there. And it's like, wait, what? That's not the responsibility I'm looking for. In today's climate, this movie could not be made today.
Well, also,
I'm thumbing it to your house, ma'am.
I'll be there in 3 to 4 business days, depending on traffic.
It's like, oh, gee, I'm glad I booked you early.
Yeah, I feel bad for the actress because she had all the makings of a great final girl, and I know that she was set up that way so that when she was killed, it was like jarring, and we're like, oh no, anyone can die in this movie.
Oh yeah, and you know, and
even Kevin Bacon.
I liked the idea though of like creating a character that you didn't want to die, right? Because I feel like that's where a lot of slasher movies lost their way in the late 80s, going into the 90s, going into fucking right now. Like Truth or Dare, fuck that fucking movie. I wanted everyone to die all the time. But like seeing characters that were like, oh, and we'll explore that a little bit more in the later films because it's like super dichotomy of like, oh my God, I want that person to die immediately to, oh, I don't want that person to die.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
So we've got, Hoochie Daddy Shorts Bandana Man with a sexy mustache. Maybe there's something I'm learning about myself in this journey of talking about Friday the 13th that I literally took a note that said Hoochie Daddy Short Bandana Man.
Well, it seemed like there was a thing between him and Final Girl, right?
Yeah, it seemed like I don't know. I think all the girls were like, you know what? He's got a little bit of like I'm not sure what team he's playing for vibe, and I dig it. And
but he does remind me.
And
of
I mean, like, obviously, it's causing some confusion in my own heart. So I'm not.
And
no
to add to that confusion, it's like he reminds me of my stepfather, Paul.
And I kind of like it. What do you think, Betsy?
Into that.
I'm into that. Except that later when he's like, I'll be back around lunchtime or whatever, and then it's the middle of the night and he's still not there, and no one's like, where is Hot Shorts Bandana Man?
Well, he's at the coffee shop with Ellen Egg Fryer lady, and she's all like, oh, you know, don't worry about the cost of that coffee, because it's clear she wants, because he says something like, you know, oh, what do I owe you? And she's like, a date. For the weekend
hot date.
And he's like, no, seriously, how much do I owe you?
Exactly.
And she says like $1.25. I remember that because she says $1.25 because I did the math in my head, because he gives her $2 and the change is 75 cents. And when he's on his way out, she tries to give it to him and he goes, no, you keep it. And she goes, thanks. And I'm like, well, maybe in 1980, 75 cents is a great tip.
Well, think about it percentage-wise. Percentage-wise, that's a gigantic tip. Like, percentage-wise, that's a 50%. That's like a 60% tip. And she's like, Oh, that's not the tip I wanted. Ugh.
I wanted
the tip of your dick.
I wanted the tip in your shorty pants, pants.
I wanted the tip that's poking out of the bottom of your shorts, and now your poncho. But no one's like, hey, where is that guy? They're just like, hey, let's play a game that makes perfect sense. Strip Monopoly.
Yeah. You never played that? I played that all the time at home with my family. You know, because it's not just fun, family fun, but it's also a good way to keep cool in the summer.
Friday the 13th, this movie should have been called Scary Mom Avenges Child.
Spoilers.
Oh, yeah. Spoiler alert, in case you haven't watched the first of 10 movies we're talking about that came out 40 years ago.
Well, it's possible. Could we be like, Friday the 13th, the first one doesn't have Jason in it? Brr, not going to watch it.
Oh, but it does have him in it because once you find out his mother, I'm Mrs. Voorhees, a friend of the hot short man. Hot shorts mustache man.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't know what it would have been like to watch that in the theater in 1980 because this movie came out before I was born.
I knew the ending before I saw it, yeah.
But it's weird to watch it, even trying to remove yourself from your knowledge of horror movies, watching this and seeing like, holy shit, we're an hour and 10 minutes into the movie and this character we've never seen before. Doesn't matter how, like, because like that's the reason they hired her specifically, because she was in a string of wholesome movies, this actress. So it's like, oh yeah, let's get her to portray.
I thought she was a porn actress.
I can't deny or confirm that.
Okay.
Wait, you're serious?
No.
No, but like when she comes out, she's like, "Oh, it's me! I'm gonna save the day." It's like, oh shit, man, she's got to be the killer. Are you kidding me?
And then she's very easy to dispatch. Like, she killed all these people, all these like young, like really fit teenagers, and then this one teenager shoves her, and she's like, ah!
I mean, she
tumbles ass over teacup, and is like, whoa, ah! And this is after she's like, oh, my son went to camp here. He was not clearly trying to think of the nicest way to say that he was slow. And she said, he was not a strong swimmer. She might as well have like winked.
Well, they cut that out. She was winking, and it gave her an.
If you get what I mean, let's just say like when he goes fishing, he doesn't use bait. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that means.
He really Tom Sawyer's it, if you know what I mean.
He's not great at ice skating, if you catch my drift. I'm not good at ice skating, but
he's what I would call somebody who uses the alphabet sparingly.
Let's just say he's better at public grunting than public speaking, if you catch my drift.
Let's just say his t-shirts don't fit.
Let's just say if Amazon delivered him to your door, it would be marked fragile.
And it's a book.
And it's a very short book.
Mostly of pictures. Let's just say he's well read with coloring books.
Yeah, so then you find out it's Ms. Voorhees is the murderer.
Oh my God.
She gets her head chopped off, and then the final girl's like, now time for a leisurely ride out into the middle of the lake, even though I definitely just killed the killer.
No, I mean, hey, that's a smart way to go, though. Because, like, think about it. If you were like, oh, shit, I got to take a nap after a killing spree.
Yeah.
You want to be in a boat in a lake because guess what? If somebody was coming after you, you would be alerted immediately because splashing, right? They're not going to fly there. They're not a flyer.
The kid who is not a strong swimmer apparently is a very strong swimmer
who could hold his breath for like 10 years.
He pops out of the lake, snags her, and then she wakes up in the sheriff's hospital.
And just as great part twos like Godfather and Back to the Future, we have Friday the 13th part 2.
But it's like the next day.
It's the next day because apparently this was supposed to kind of like semi-retcon what happened in the first movie, which was like, oh, he died because when he comes out of the lake, that's supposed to be a hallucination.
Now, in case you're like, oh, I want to watch 2, but I don't want to watch 1 for some reason, don't worry. There's a very extensive recap at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah. It takes up 5 minutes of this 85-minute long movie.
And final girl from the first one is like, here I am in my apartment. Time to relax with a nice, I don't remember what she's doing, a nice robe.
Sleeping in a one-piece pajamas.
Time to relax for a nice sleeping. And then, oh no, some grown man that doesn't make sense because the only other killer in the first, or the only killer in the first one was the woman that she killed, and then there was the baby who was not such a strong swimmer. They grabbed her at the end, who was a child at the end. Yeah, there's a grown man that breaks into her place. Oh no! And it's to her detriment. She has an ice pick is sitting in the kitchen for some reason, and he grabs it and kills her.
Oh, don't be insensitive, Conrad. You know, back then they didn't have fancy ice makers like we have now. They had to do it the old school way, where they had to get a giant bowl, fill it with water, throw it in the freezer, take it out, and then leisurely just chop up that ice with the ice.
I really take for granted the modern conveniences we have now. 30 years later, 40 years later.
Oh, yeah. Like the family ice pick. It would have the family golden label on it.
They had to melt it into their drinking water using only an open flame and a torch. And then once they melted it into their water, they drank it, and then they had to go off to the salt mine, the salty coal mines.
The salty coal Coleman's Coal Mines. Come on down.
That's right. We don't just make mustard powder. No. Well, actually, our mustard powder is just yellow-colored coal.
And we make
That's the Coleman's secret. Wink. Did you know that ghosts can grow older and get bigger and be alive? Because I did not. This movie taught me that.
No, yeah.
The ghost of Jason... He grows up to be a big burly man.
Big burly man.
He still appears like I would probably not put him first in a swimming competition.
Well, because he's not a good swimmer.
He's not. Yeah, as we've established, he's not
terrible
a
swimmer.
Terrible.
He's like lead out there.
And of course, they're reopening Murder Camp.
Oh yeah.
Or
under new management.
It's right now. Yeah, under new management. Anyway, don't worry. The killer last time totally decapitated. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine, kids.
No more. Her cap is gone. She's graduated into the next world.
She's done it.
She threw her cap into the air and she de-ated it.
Yep. And nobody talks about it except everyone because it's in the news.
Nobody talks about it except everyone. When you walk into the coffee shop and you say, I'm going to Camp Crystal Lake, the record scratches, and they all look and they're like, New York City. Surprise, you're in a Pace Pecani sauce ad, motherfucker. Boom. There is this poor guy. He's in a wheelchair. He's a camp counselor, and he has this really nice moment with one of the other counselors, a young female. This is kind of like when the teens are pairing off. They're getting to know each other. They're reopening Murder Camp for some reason.
Yeah. With no kids. Is that a thing? No one noticed?
You know what?
There's
that
no
actually
kids.
does track because it's like when teachers do development week or whatever. It's like
it's the
camp counselors are there to like get ready. Well, in the first one, remember, Hot Pants Bandana Man was like, "Here, nail this board. Here, do these taxes or whatever." He was like giving them tasks to do to get ready for camp.
Well, so much for your dreams.
And then Jason says, he doesn't talk, but
right.
he is like
thinking,
staring menacingly. Yeah. He was probably thinking of something. You know what? He was probably thinking of something really smart and funny.
He was probably thinking, yeah, just because I can't swim doesn't mean I can't kill people.
Yeah. Look, just to be clear, people who aren't good at swimming can still be good at other things.
Like killing.
Like kill.
Kill.
He puts a bag over his head. And this is the iconic look for Jason, right? Like when you think of Jason Voorhees, you think of scary guy with a pillowcase over his head with one eye cut out. That's what I think.
No, I think of seaweed covered guy in a pool of water.
Yeah, but with a wet pillowcase over his head. Exactly. Yeah. It's because he's like, see you in your... Wait, that's Freddy. He's
in your
like...
dweems, is that what you're going to say? I heard that little bit. Someone's a real Mae West over here.
Like, this is my scuba mask.
The pillowcase? Yeah. This is my scuba mask. I go in the water, I'm free. We gotta go.
So there he is, the very smart and capable Jason wearing a pillowcase mask. He's killing these kids for basically no reason. The whole reason they were getting killed in the first one is the mom was like, vengeance against all camp counselors.
No, he didn't kill anyone in the first one.
I know. In the first one, I said the mom is killing everyone because she's like, vengeance on all camp counselors because they let my kid who's not very strong at swimming swim, and they were off fucking and smoking drugs instead of helping him not be dead. And then in the second one, Jason's like, I'm a grown-up ghost, and I also don't like camp counselors.
That's the lesson today. Take that, you dead person. My name's Jason, and I'm here to teach you about being dead. Whoops. Lesson learned.
You know, you go to a Jason Voorhees seminar, I got to say, there may be a lot of information and not a lot of talking. So it's perfect for me.
Oh, yeah.
It suits my lifestyle perfectly.
Mostly like, show, don't say, which I appreciate.
You know what? I'm a tactile learner. Okay? I learn by doing. Yeah. I don't learn by listening.
No, I never listen. I hate it.
How did you like the Mom Deadhead Shrine?
I loved it because it was like I'm a Deadhead fan. I love Grateful Dead Truckin', one of my favorite songs. American Beauty, great album. I appreciated that she was a deadhead, and it made sense because she was dead.
And the twist was that she hated kids for smoking pot, but yet she herself was a deadhead, which was like, whoa, man, you just like blew my mind. She was actually like, yeah, don't take the path I went down.
No, the real twist is that it was an actual actress sitting under a table with her head made up because it would have been more expensive to have a fucking fake head.
And she was like, oh, you're doing this because I'm going to have a line? And they're like, no. No, you're just act dead.
Just sit there, do not breathe.
Well, then why don't...
Not just because we want you to look like you're dead, but if you breathe in those chemicals we just sprayed on you, you will die.
All right, next up is Friday the 13th. Ay, ay, ay! Which is 3 eyes, which in Roman times meant 3D. That's right, because this movie, it's coming at you in a whole other dimension.
Oh.
The third dimension. That's right. You got to listen to your 80s music and reach out and touch Jason because it's popping right out of the screen It's in 3D. So, in case you were turning on this movie and like, I just really want to make sure I didn't miss any important plot points from these first two masterpieces. Fear not, lovely spectators, for there is another extensive recap on the movies of the boy who's not a strong swimmer.
But also Corey Feldman.
Also Corey Feldman. We'll get to that. So this movie has lots of great, and by great I mean terrible, 3D opportunities. And I didn't realize it was in 3D, I guess, at first. And I just noticed that there were moments where, like, a guy was like sticking a pole towards the camera and holding it there for a long time, or like someone's like pointing at another character at the camera, and I'm like, why are they doing these weird shots?
Or he's like, hey, hand me your wallet, and he's like, oh yeah, here you go.
He throws it.
He like throws it very.
This was clearly at the beginning of 3D technology. This movie must have been shot at like the beginning of entertainment. When people are like, whoa, did you see that wallet that guy threw? That's crazy.
Well, like what makes me mad about the gimmick in this movie is that, okay, first off, I think overall this one had more, at least thought, even though it was for a gimmick, more thought put into the cinematography overall. Because, you have that crane shot of like the clothes hanging on the wire, and it's like, ooh. Yeah. And there's all those like cool, like inventive, really neat shots. But it almost, like, it's half used effectively, because the other half is just like, you're going in, because like the poster has like his knife like showing into the, into you, like, oh, it's 3D. But when you watch it, it's like, oh, someone threw popcorn. Yeah, like, whoa, popcorn being thrown at the screen. Or someone doing a yo-yo, like, oh, a yo-yo. I want to see a knife go to my face. Like, what the fuck?
I want to see Friday the 13th in 4D. Like, when you go to Disney and they're like, oh, gosh, Mickey, there's a tidal wave, and they throw water on you, or they're like, oh, gosh, Donald Duck, it stinks in here, and they like make it stink.
They make it stink.
I want to have Friday the 13th at 4D, where it's like, well, he doesn't say like, oh, I stabbed you, but like, oh, he's like stabbed someone, and they like throw fake blood on the audience, like, oh, we just got sprayed with blood, or like,
I thought you were gonna say Jason's in the audience and he like stabs you for real.
Or like the creepy bikers are like, this is our town, and they like slap you, and they have an actor like crouched behind the seat in front of you, and they jump up and slap you in the face, and you're like, God, it feels like I'm really there. And then we've got the great store owner feeding his fish, and his fish won't eat because they're fucking spoiled brats.
Well, they're overfed. They had to do that scene so many times.
That's why he eats the fish food. They're like, look, we bought this amount of fish food for the scene. It all has to be gone, or we gotta pay. We gotta pay taxes on it. So that's why he's like, oh, see, it's good, and he eats a little bit of it, and then he's like, and he eats
really
more.
Good.
At the end of that scene, that was actually the 15th time he'd done it. He was crying and throwing up. Like, oh, God, please don't make me eat any more
He's like, wait,
food.
You didn't replace this with, like, nerds or something?
But see, he was in 3D, so when he did that, they, like, threw fish food flakes on the whole audience. And they're like, oh, I feel like I'm the fish. Or I'm the guy.
I'm the guy.
I'm the guy that's eating fish food.
Get it?
His wife comes in and is like, quit eating so much, you're going to get fat. She doesn't know he's eating fish food. It's very caloric. And then he's like, fuck you, and grabs a chocolate donut and starts eating it.
I kind of like this guy.
Oh, I love this guy. He's
great.
He reminds me a lot of Chili Stew guy.
Yeah, by look alone, sure. No, but he adds a change of pace to the Friday movies, because it's like, oh, know, like this little silly, quirky guy, and he had that little bunny, and he's like,
well, that's right, it wasn't a cat
because he goes,
that's
oh,
right,
you,
that's right.
I better not let my wife find you because she'll like skin you alive and cook you or
That's
whatever.
right. He's like, she'll make you into stew, I think is what he said, because I remember thinking, like, I actually love making rabbit stew. And I was
You
like,
do.
Yeah. And I was like,
So you were looking at that, and you were smacking your lips like, oh,
no, I can already taste the potatoes and mushrooms and the thyme.
No, but that guy was great, and his wife is great. She played a great little nag, and then they get totally murdered because that's what Jason does, man.
Yeah, I don't know what these people did to inspire his wrath, except for run their little corner grocery store and the guy. Oh, also
He
she's
stole
like,
from himself.
the doctor. She's like, the doctor says you need to lose weight, and he's like a perfectly normal weight.
Yeah, he just looks fine.
And he's just like, chocolate donut. After that follows my fish food really nicely.
Yeah, he's really dipping into the till at their store there, like just opening things.
He grabs a jug of room
Sunny
temperature sunny tea off the shelf, opens it, chugs some, puts it back. I'm never shopping at his store.
Well, you know, Sunny D does not have to be refrigerated. It's famously room temp OJ.
It's not OJ. No, legally you can't say that. Legally you can't say that.
Oh, geez. Oh, sorry.
That's why it's Sunny Delight. They can't even say orange. They have to say it's sun-colored.
It's simulated orange juice.
They can't even say that. It's a drink that is the color of the flame in the heart of an athlete. So come on down and get some shelf-stable liquid vitamin courage.
It's Sunny D. What does the D stand for? It stands for don't tell. And then, I mean, that was just a little appetizer for Jason's wrath. Because
That's right.
Then he's like, oh, hey, more children to kill. Let's do it.
This was a nice amuse-bouche. This movie is the one where he finds his iconic hockey mask that the silly joker in the group is
Shelley
like,
Silverstein.
And this poor guy, the whole movie, he's just like, I'm so fat and ugly. And we're like, you're like okay looking and like you've got a great personality. Yeah. I'm like, if I was hanging out with you, I wouldn't be like this. Also, I'm not a terrible person. Well, I probably am, but I wouldn't be like this ugly piece of shit. I'm like, this is a good guy. I like this guy. I liked his character.
I liked him too, but I think by
he was so down on himself, it made me sad.
Well, by today's standards, I think he might have been labeled, slightly autistic because it's almost revealing that he.
But that's okay.
There's two parts in the movie where, through his antics that upset everyone, he can't understand it, and he goes, "This is how I deal."
I see,
or something like he says something like, "This is the only way I know how to whatever."
And then he died, but his death served a greater purpose, which is no longer is Jason Pillowcase Man.
No, he is Hockey Mask Man all the way. Hockey Mask all the way, man, for the win.
That's right, because he is guarding the goal of these teenagers living to see 20.
And he's like, nope, you're not seeing 20.
Like, not in my... He's like, Dikembe Mutombo. He's like, not in my house. Yeah, he's a basketball player, but, the hockey players, they're wearing a lot of... they don't have a lot of catchphrases.
No. And he can't hear so well with all the padding.
That's right.
Not in my camp. I loved a lot of the kills that were specific to the 3D, like when he kills what could have been Shelley's girlfriend when she's in the water, because he has a fish shooter thing, right? What is those called?
A
harpoon gun.
Yep, that was a good one.
And he walks up. This is the best part of the movie to me. He walks up, and then he could just shoot her, but no, he goes, I'm gonna position myself where my arm is in front of this log, not because the effect happens to be on a line that goes from the log to her, and then he shoots. And then after the effect is done, he pulls his arm away, and they actually just show him almost like dropping the mic, where he just throws the harpoon gun onto the ground. He's just like, what? I thought that was awesome. Well, you're dead.
I like this is the one where he gets hanged, right? And then he pulls himself out of the noose.
Yes. Yeah, at the end, yeah, because he's so strong and so great. His neck is as thick as an unswimmer's neck. I do love the final girl in this. She's great. I loved her.
Yeah.
She had a great, scare face. She had a great, I'm totally bitches get it done. I don't think that's the actual thing. It's ladies get it done. But, I mean, it was back then.
Bitches in like a strong, empowering way.
Strong, empowering way. Like Pat Benatar, it's the times when we can say that times. It was the 80.
Back in the 70.
Back in the
80.
Back in the 80.
Yeah.
When women could drive 55 and no one could say they weren't alive. Well, all Good Fridays must come to an end.
God,
and it ends.
I was hoping it would be here.
And it ends here. Friday the 13th, final chapter 4. They intentionally wanted to, they were like, oh, we should end the series. And they got Tom Savini and all the kills are great. And they had a family in it because they were like, oh, let's increase kind of the drama of it and make you care about the characters for the first time.
Yeah, and so that's why the movie opens with, whatever happened to sensibility?
They'll pose. Yeah.
Everywhere you look, everywhere
there's
a
die.
killer. He kills camp counselors.
And everywhere you swim, everywhere
he
you
can't
die.
swim, he's no good, but he's good at killing. The second time around. That's another, I think that's from a different theme. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, this movie had Corey Feldman.
Yep.
It had Crispin Glover, which is the past tense of Crispin Glover.
Well, he crusped his crisp.
That's right. You know what? This is the movie that put him on the cusp of greatness.
Well, I'll tell you what was great is the Crispin dance. And fucking...
You know, he was really crusping at straws, trying to put together a good dance there.
Do you have all this written down?
No. This is, except for the word Crispin, this is all just...
Well, then you're going to be losing your crusp in a minute.
He danced, and it was real... It was so... bad. And I'm a terrible dancer, but he was dancing not like there was no tomorrow. He was dancing like there was no today. He was dancing like he was a sim in first gen video game that was jerky like the ghosts in Haunted Hill. That was a very scattered thought, but you know what I'm saying. So then we're in this we're back in the sheriff's hospital.
Yes.
And there's this guy, Axel, who's, I guess, a morgue man.
From Guns N' Roses?
Yep. It's Axel Rose.
The morgue man.
And Axel Rose, a morgue man.
Well, when he's mild-mannered Axel Rose, when he becomes morgue man. Careful, his weakness is dead
and he's trying to hit on that nurse, and she's like, I don't want anything to do with you. And he's like, let's just watch this porn in the morgue or whatever. And she's like, no. And then all of a sudden she's like, all right, let's fuck. And he's like, welcome to the jungle.
Oh, no. Because I don't shave my pubes. No, she comes in there and she says, I'm only here to watch the news. Which is weird because
that's right. They're not watching porn; they're watching the news.
Yeah, and
I'm getting this mixed up with later in the movie.
Yeah, he's watching an exercise video, which is his porn.
Right. He's like, this is news to me on how to stretch your glutes
and how to stretch my peen.
Listen, I'm Axl Rose. I need to prepare myself for a stage show later this week.
He wants to fuck this nurse. He's super unprofessional. These people bring a dead body into the thing, and he's eating like a donut, which I think it was a running gag in general in the 80s, where
we're gonna get to that
where
later,
morticians are the whole gag is morticians are so used to it that they can eat their lunch while working on dead bodies.
Standing over a body that's part of a murder investigation, eating a hand lasagna, being like... Yeah, this body definitely died from anal contusions or whatever.
A hand lasagna. Let's smart at that. Just like, Stouffer's came out with hand lasagna. You just microwave it, you take it out.
So then Axl Rose is fucking this nurse in the morgue while he's eating hand lasagna.
He tries to before getting interrupted, and the expletives that he says are... he goes, Jesus Christmas and fucking gosh Christmas. Like he says Christmas a couple times.
I love it. Like Christ was the part you needed to bleep out, not Jesus. Jesus Christmas.
Jesus fucking Christmas. God damn it. Fucking cunt Christmas.
That's like when people say fucking A. I never understood. Anyway.
It stands for ass.
Yeah, so that's gross. They're fucking in the morgue, and then Jason. Our friends, Cruspin and his friends, are driving through the Wilder people, and who would they happen upon but a hitchhiker in the middle of the woods in nowhere? Now, this is the only... I don't want to tarry on this long because our poor hitchhiker friend dies post-haste, but who, perchance, dropped her off there? If she's hitchhiking, she's like, I'm going to Atlantic City. And they're like, well, I only go as far as the middle of the woods.
Well, no, I think it's the classic, like, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? Does a hitchhiker hitchhike in the middle of the woods? Wait, I think I fucked myself with that.
I wanted to pause and tell you how excited I am to hear you explain how this relates. So I think you got there.
I stumbled like a hitchhiker in the middle of the woods. But
whoa, shit, figured it out.
I didn't know that was a saying until I just said it. No, Crispin Glover is great, and he's talking about. I do appreciate again, like talking about like the characters, right? They as two-dimensional as they are, well, I would say they're 2.5 because I love that it starts out with like,
that half dimension.
Yeah, Crispin Glover is like, he got out of a bad relationship, and his friend is like, I can help you out, bro. Let me just take my Walkman.
Oh, God, his piece of shit friend. I wanted to sock him in the stomach.
The friend who was like, had a very specific fetish of watching specifically film of 1920s ladies getting nude.
Oh, man, porn was better back in the 20s. Back when women were women.
When it took 30 minutes to get undressed. Oh, boy.
Yeah, and he was like the typical like, oh, man, all you gotta do is forget that bitch and, just like get some fresh. You know what I mean?
Get some strange.
And Crispin Glover's like, I really did like her. I mean, Lorraine was my love, and I was going to take her to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. Then Jason grabs her in the shower, and he's like, hey, you, get your damn hands off her.
And then Jason killed him with a corkscrew.
I've been waiting this whole time to make a Back to the Future reference.
Yeah, it wasn't forced at all.
Yeah. Can you tell? I was just like, and then Lorraine.
Yeah, he actually made a stop sign to like hold in front of me to be like, hey, don't say anything. I got a whole thing I'm saying. Jason kills everybody. The family is all like, oh my God. And that's right. Remember the family?
Oh, yeah. They had that weird bear hunter they picked up that's like, I'm out hunting bears. And then a pause, and then apropos of nothing says, so, any kids around?
No, I mean, when he says he's hunting bears, you know what he's talking about, right?
He's talking about big, burly men.
That's right, hairy, burly men.
I'm here for it, man. If that's what makes him happy.
Specifically, hairy men who don't know how to swim.
And then little Corey's like, come up to my room. And his mom and sister are like, okay. Nothing wrong with this scenario.
Which is what Hollywood said about the real life Corey Feldman, who...
I love at the end, so we've gotten set up that Corey, the little Corey character, is... Little Corey Feldboy is a special effects expert as a child, and he makes these really, and not being sarcastic, really cool, like masks, very scary masks. And at the end, he's like, I know what'll get Jason. And he dresses his head up like he's not a strong swimmer, who's like balding.
I'm going to cosplay as not a very good swimmer.
Yeah, so when I want to cosplay that, I just am myself. I just walk in, I'm like, get it? So he like balds himself, and he comes down and he's like, hey, Jason, it's me, you. And Jason's like, whoa, what? I'm like looking in a mirror right now.
It's one of those things where it's like, I think he put more work into the effort than the reward warranted. Because, hey, you don't know what's going on with your mom or your sister, but you're looking in the mirror and you're like, it's game time. I got to put some makeup on. I got to shave my head. I got to get in. I got to look at these newspaper clippings, get in the mindset of Jay. Oh, everyone's dead.
Why does it sound like a Mentos commercial?
And then
he's like trying to figure out. He's like, what am I going to do? It doesn't matter what comes. Fresh goes better with life. Yeah, as soon as while he's like going, die, and kills Jason, then he looks at the camera and Mentos, the fresh maker.
The flesh taker.
Up next, Friday the 13th, number 5, A New Beginning. So,
yes, right.
Sorry, do we have to talk about it?
Why? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason lives. No, this is great because it's, I love that it opens, it's, okay, so I love that this movie is kind of like, oh, it's Friday the 13th in the next gear, because in 5...
which is Park.
In 5, which we will not talk about, it does open with them digging up Jason's grave, and in this one, digging up Jason's grave, but suddenly now it's fucking like a Keanu Reeves movie. Like it's... because... we all know my dyslexia is real. So, because it's like, oh, we're going to do the same thing. They're going to dig up Jason's grave. But in Fifth Element gear, they're driving real fast down the road. And they're like, we got to dig this grave up. And there's lightning and it's all through that. And they dig him up. And it's like, yep, there he is.
And then one of them's like, I think I found a wing, Henry. That's right. That's a Goodfellas reference.
Oh, I thought you were going to do a Horshack reference because that was the actor who played Horshack.
Rorschach?
Yeah. Rorschach from Watchmen.
Oh, I thought the thing that my psychiatrist makes me look at to find out why I'm crazy.
No, the thing is in Fantastic Four. Not fantastic. Irony.
Yeah, I like that. I like the Lightning Rod Resurrection, new band name, by the way.
No, Kyle MacLachlan from Twin Peaks.
Damn good cup of coffee. Yeah.
Yep. He directed this movie.
Or fine cup of
and
coffee.
he was a fan of the original Universal Monsters movies, and so he paid homage to this by being all like, we're going to Frankenstein the fuck out of
Oh, I thought he was like, he's going to be a mummy.
He's going to... Well, he was wrapped in maggots.
That's right. I love it that when Jason comes to life, the kid runs into the sheriff office. And the
dude, he is hot.
He comes in real hot. And that sheriff literally says... I will repaint this office with your brains. I'm like,
no, but you remember the first thing he says? He goes, oh man, I thought you were in show business because of the way you came in or something like that.
He's like, oh man, I thought you were Dick Van Dyke the way you vaudevilled your way into this office. Anyway, I'm going to repaint the walls with your brains.
The way you tripped over an ottoman in a garish way. And the way you had a really bad offensive Cockney accent in that movie with Mary Poppins.
Whoa. I got a Jason Voorhees in it.
We got ourselves a classic Jason Voorhees situation.
Your British is your Cockney is Australian, which I like too.
Well,
yeah, right. We're gonna go down under.
Well,
we're gonna find a Dick Van Dyke man.
We've got ourselves a Dick Van Dyke. That's the
down there. They don't call it a hockey mask. They call it that weird ice sport mask because they don't have hockey.
No, they call it a frog Diggery. You got hit in the face with a puckery because you weren't wearing your frog Diggery. Mate.
Yeah, here we are playing the Kings game, which down here we call Shrimpy Pass By.
Now let's go to Lord of the Rings, mate.
That's New Zealand.
We got ourselves a Kiwi here. Oi.
Oh, God.
Sean Connery is my favourite actor.
He's Scottish.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's an actor.
Oh, yeah, he's nothing now. Wait, is he dead? I don't remember.
I don't know. But there can only be one.
I'll tell you how you know what? You'd know he wasn't dead if he was playing Jason Voorhees like Kane Hodder because
Nothing's hotter than Kane.
Nothing's hotter than Kane, and
unless it's Kane from Poltergeist, because he is hot too.
And he's got a new flavor of children fingers, and they are hot and spicy. That's right, Kane's hotter.
Kane's hotter.
Children fingers.
Children fingers with the hunky dunky sauce from Hellraiser.
Right.
That's why we're bringing it all together, folks. I'm glad you're watching this if you've heard or listening.
So come on down to Chili's 2. We got your Kane's children fingers, now in new hot variety. We got the hunky dunky sauce, and we got Crispas as always.
Wait, what makes it so hot? Is it the temperature?
They are real hot. I tell you what, they're selling like hot cakes, which we do not have. So don't ask.
Not even for birthdays? You don't know?
Well, someone burned their mouths on a cake. And now we are forced to serve our cakes at or below room temperature.
Who would want a hot cake?
You know when you bite into a hot cake, the frosting is melting off, so you got to spoon it into your mouth really fast. And that's why you serve it with ice. And that ice, it's like vanilla-flavored ice.
Baby.
Ice baby is what it used to be called, because we'd serve you hot cake. Some places will serve you ice cream, but we don't muddy up your ice with the cream. We keep it pure water and vanilla. And that's it. Just like God intended.
That doesn't sound like cake at all. It just sounds
that's what we put on top of the hot cake to cool it down so that when you eat it, it's tepid. Listen, you want the food you put in your mouth to be the same temperature as your mouth so that it just... Doctors have proven it digests more easily when you eat things at a disgustingly tepid temperature. It just, your mouth basically dissolves it instantly. And that's why we were proud to serve a hot cake with nice vanilla ice baby. But now we're forced to serve just refrigerated, hard to digest cake-like product.
So anyway, Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, so Jason has a reason to kill all these people for some reason.
He always... Did you not know the reason? Because he is a killer.
I put that in every single movie after the first one because I don't... He has no motivation, and I, as a respecter of the thespian arts, I need to understand everyone's motivation.
It's not about the killing. It's about the killings that he made on the way, or about the friends he made.
I totally
about the friends
get it.
that he killed on the way.
cue the silly 80s music that played throughout this entire movie. 90s? 80s. 80s. It was 80s.
Wait, are we on 6? Fuck.
Next up, it is Friday the 13th, number 7. All good Jasons go to heaven. Now it's called The New Blood.
Don't go on to your Wikipedias now.
Yeah. It's not. That would be fucking dope, though.
Don't comment. It's not called that. You idiots.
This movie takes place at
Crystal Lake Camp. Oh, jeez.
God, Jono just ruined the whole plot of the movie for everyone. Yeah, another fucking movie where, here we go, it's people keep coming to this same place, and this girl whose dad was like, I'm a drunk, and she's like, I'm gonna collapse the house on you. And
I like if you just stop there, like, hey, I'm a drunk. It's like, wait, what? I think I know what I am.
I am what I am, and that's all that I am. Yeah, Dad, every time you drink, you think you're Popeye.
Because you use those big, strong arms and you beat up on your...
time for me to drink me spinach. He's not from England. And
that wasn't English.
Dad, that's not spinach. That's a bottle of rye whiskey. His daughter's like, not in my cabin, okay? I'm going to telekinesis the doc. And that happens, and oh no, it awakens Jason, who was chained to the bottom of the lake in the last one.
See, this is where, like, the history of the movies start to muddy for me. Only here in the 7th movie.
God, we watch so many of these fucking movies.
Because when she's a little girl, she, she fucking house parties the house. She raises the roof, she shakes it down, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Raises the roof, shakes the house. Husband falls underwater, dies. And Jason is there. Oh, I'm sorry. Raises the roof, shakes the house. Man falls down like a dead mouse.
There we go. And this is a story all about how Jason came out of the ground. Oh, it's a lake, but lake doesn't rhyme with anything.
You get the...
shake, rake, bake, take, cake. I guess it rhymes with a lot.
Yeah, it's like the word orange.
Here is a story all about Jake. He's the guy that got killed by Jason in the lake. He came outside and he said, hey, dude, you're counseling campers, and that's really rude. So I'm going to stab you because my mom hates it. When I drown and masturbate, you're masturbating because you're having premarital sex. I tell you what, Jason's just going to crumble it with telekinesis girl. What? Got off the rails.
Old TG. I'm telekinesis girl. It's me. I'm on the scene. Oh, ma'am, you have more than 15 items, and the 15 items are fewer.
I'm going to lift this head of lettuce and your chocolate-covered almonds, and now you're good.
How did you know?
All in a day's work, man.
How did you know? Because I'm telekinetic.
Also good at counting groceries up to 15.
Telekinetic girl, help! I'm being raped.
Oh, actually, I can generally only help if it's crumbling a cabin or making sure that people don't abuse the 15 items or less line at the grocery store. Now, if someone has like 17 items, I'll let that slide. But as soon as it crosses that 18 mark, hey, you're going to have to face me, the girl that's dad was Popeye when he was drunk, and I had to collapse the deck, and then I made Jason angry and awake, and then later I came back here as a grown-up, and that's when he started killing people again.
But we all know what her real superpower is. It's keeping
counting groceries. Oh, sorry, what?
It's keeping a guy to like her despite how objectively crazy she comes off.
Right. Yeah, and the guy, I like this guy's, he's like, washing his car or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I don't really like the girls at my school that are here with me. They're like not that deep. They're in the shallow end of the lake where Jason is, you know what I mean?
Because they're teenagers and I'm 30.
Yeah, they're talking about Barbies, and I'm talking about a mortgage.
So, Bear Pants. What happens with this? Oh, telekinetic. But, doctor who's crazy.
Yeah, he's like, this girl hasn't made enough progress at the hospital. We need to take her to where something really traumatic happened, where she killed her Popeye truck dad.
Yeah, specifically to her, where she killed her dad and awakened Jason. Wait, is that what happened? Because that's what I'm saying. It's like, was she a little girl when Jason was in 6?
And then he's just been biding his time. Wait, what?
No, he's been biting his thumb at her because a pox on your house, because I will forever be a Jason.
Hey, listen, he may not be a strong swimmer, but he understands the work of the bard like better than any English major that's ever gone to Rutgers.
That's right. He knows about the play that did not get done. So, Brain Girl Pants. Brain Pants is like, oh my God, I can see the future and you are not in it, Jason. So then she kills him with her brain powers. How does she do it? That's right. She uses her brain.
Oh, yeah. Also, Jason uses maybe my favorite weapon that he uses in any of the movies, which is the buzzsaw weed eater. He has a gas-powered weed eater with a buzzsaw blade that he's like you've been smoking the weeds, so I'm gonna cut them with this weed eater buzzsaw thing. He doesn't say it because he never speaks.
Well, no. I mean, I know you're saying this in jest, but obviously that is an actual tool. It's just we don't see a whole lot about it because it only exists in fictional worlds where weeds are as thick as branches, and you're just...
That's right. They've got these green baguettes growing up from the ground, and they're like, I have to cut these for lunch. French people eat baguette. And so,
French, fictional French in the French world.
They're like giant milkweeds. That's where people in fiction get their milk.
They milk the udders.
They milk the udders of the earth. And remember, at the end of this one, what happens to Jason?
I don't remember.
Same thing as the last one. The guy pops out of the lake, and he's like, I'm going to be the hero, man. And
I'm Popeye, your dad, but I look exactly the way I did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You're dreaming. And we're trucking along with Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes a Cruise. Manhattan.
It's called Jason Takes Manhattan in parentheses. Hey, I'm stalking here. I really hate it when titles of movies do not... when you say something really specific in a movie, like Jason Takes Manhattan, which was clearly named after Muppets Take Manhattan.
Oh, yeah, they're right on the success.
Yeah, they were like, all right, we're making Jason number 8. Anyone got ideas? Well, that Muppets movie was pretty successful. Muppets Take Manhattan. You know what? I don't want to hear any other ideas.
No, actually, I think it was the other way. I think someone was watching Muppets Take Manhattan, and they're like, "Oh God, what the Muppets can take Manhattan? What, they think Jason can't take Manhattan or something?"
I thought when you said it was the other way, I thought you were going to say that Jim Henson was watching Jason 8 and was like, you know what? There's barely any Manhattan in this. You know who would be great in Manhattan? Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog and Company.
Hi, everyone. I'm wearing a hockey mask.
Oh, no, you're gonna waka kill me.
I get so mad when you put on that hockey mask, Kermit.
So yeah, Friday 8 is about a lady who is has a past that you don't know yet until later in the movie when you find out that she's afraid of the water because the Dr. Dad tried to drown her. And
yeah,
that's
right.
Because this is like the 7th one where it's like, wait, what's the timeline like? Because 20, I don't know how old she is. Let's say 15 to 20 years ago.
No, okay. So actually, her age is very clear because they're on a senior cruise. So they're 65. No,
they're 5 years
they're graduating class, so they're 18.
Okay, so 5 to 20
this was
years
13
ago.
years ago. When she was 5.
When they again, with all these fucking movies, they retcon the history of Jason where it's like, he survived again from the first movie. He was a little boy the whole time. He was just a little boy. He was a little Kevin Costner from Waterworld.
A little boy
he lived
with a
in
big
the
dream.
A big dream to see Manhattan.
To one day reach the Big Apple and kill people there.
It took him a long time. But yeah, Dr. Dad he throws her into the river and is like, you got to learn to swim. That's the only way, is by almost dying.
Hang on. Also, this is interesting to me because, look, I'm not saying that like it's okay to drown your children to teach them to swim, but I am saying
he was taking the same.
A lot of parents have like, all right, push you into the pool. I mean, at one point to teach a child to swim, people do it with their infants. Yeah, okay, maybe there's like a teacher around and it's in a pool and not a frightening lake, but they're just like, here you go, baby, fucking figure out how to move your limbs.
Nobody puts baby in a pool.
A lot of people put baby in a pool. And so she's like, my dad tried to drown me. No, he taught you how to be a fucking grown up. But
because that's what life is. They throw you to the sharks or the lake. You know?
They throw you to the lake sharks.
They throw you to the lake sharks. There they are. They're circling. Get out your knife.
He's like, all right, here you go, kid. Here's a Bowie knife. Here's a match. And here's an empty bottle. Actually, I would give you a bottle of water, but you're in water. So
I mean, just, inhale.
Yeah. Also, it's salt water because it's ocean fed, clearly, because they go to Manhattan. So she's buoyant because salt water. It's science, but
it's science. Well, yeah, because we all know we're 80% water, but we're also 80% air.
So this movie, in the sequence of sequels, Hellraiser number 5, which is the equivalent of 8 Friday the 13th.
Or not, no.
I don't know if you know the exchange rate of Hellraisers to Friday the 13th of 5 Hellraisers is equal to 8 Friday the 13th.
No. You mean the exchange rate of each one. So Hellraiser 5 would equal about 0.8 Friday 8th.
The reason is because at the 5th Hellraiser, that's when they introduce opening narration. And Hellraiser 8, they introduce opening narration. So obviously the value of the horror franchise is the same at 8 as it is with 5 Hellraisers.
I think you're blowing this whole thing wide open, bro, because
I'm telling you.
Also in 8, they explore visions because she also has visions for no reason. For no reason has visions of young Jason like asking for help as if he's
it's very
so
confusing.
It's like, wait, is Jason a tortured soul that we're supposed to feel sorry for? Because he's all like, help me, I'm a little boy. And then cut to Jason hack slashing his way.
Oh, wait, so that's like back to Hellraiser like 2 and 3, where it's like, oh, I'm a person. I'm not actually a pinhead. I became a pinhead. And they're like, oh, Cenobites are people too. So here's the scoop on this movie.
You give it.
Are
to
you
me.
ready for this?
I'm ready for it.
This was the first time I saw it. This is the first time I had ever seen this movie.
What? Really?
Really. I
wow.
was really looking forward to some Jason in New York Crocodile Dundee style, like people walking up to him like, hey man, you want to buy a watch? And opening their coat, and he's like, people in New York, am I right? Like he doesn't say it, but it's his by
right,
his
yeah.
not his facial expressions because hockey mask, but and then like someone walking up to him going, "Oh, you're one of those guys in Times Square that has a costume that we take pictures with. Can I get like a picture with you or whatever?"
Yeah, you
and
look
he's like, "I'm Kane Hodder sauce," and all I got was fucking this cruise ship with these snotty brats, and then like, oh, he's in New York for a few minutes, and there were like New York gangsters in like steam pits everywhere, like in every 90s 80s movie,
and also barrels of toxic waste.
Of toxic waste. Yeah, where people are like, get it, it's the big city. But anyway, point is, supremely let down by the amount of big city Jason I got.
I just want to talk briefly about each, okay, not each, two, of the kids on this boat. Now, one was a...
It's these kids, these 30-year-old actors.
Yeah. One was a Joan Jett knockoff girl.
Yeah.
With her guitar and her cinematographer friend who is going to film the music videos. And she finds herself in the fucking Nightmare on Elm Street boiler room of the fucking ship and is like, oh, yeah, this would be a perfect place for a music video. And she sets down her amp and plugs in her guitar and starts, like, actually playing. It's like, that's not how music videos work. You don't have to actually play. And then, of course, Friday comes in and is all like, pow, like stabs her in the neck with the guitar.
And this is actually foreshadowing Freddy versus Jason because they are in the boiler room of Nightmare.
Of the ship.
The ship is the conduit between worlds.
The ship is actually called SS Nightmare. Boxer Man Jones, who is all like, I'm a boxer. First off, I love his try, okay? But who just punches a mask? Like, you're not doing any damage. That's why it's a mask. It's a hockey mask. It's designed to take pucks flying 100 miles an hour. You think your fist is going to do something?
So, hey, we didn't address, by the way, that Jason just, like, ends up there somehow.
Well, he was in the
lake that feeds the ocean, I guess, so he just like walked along the ocean and pulled himself out.
No, he was in the lake where this couple were in a boat and they were gonna do the naughty times area. They were gonna do naughty times area, and Jason got on the boat, and then you had a fake scare because boyfriend man was like, I'm going to make it seem like I'm going to do it. And then he comes out and scares her and she's like, oh, you idiot or whatever. And then he dies. Right. And then she tries to hide.
Sweet ass boat. I want that boat.
I want that butt.
Oh, his butt.
Jason's butt. So, okay. But anyway, yeah. So he does that. And then he's all like, well, I've got a taste for boats now. Where's the next one? And then he like finds this boat that's right there by Crystal Place. And he gets in there and he's all like, hey, look at me. I'm here. I'm going to kill everybody. Now, before we get into it.
Jason goes to HE double hockey sticks. That's right.
Wayne Gretzky.
He goes to the big
apple.
Easy in the ground. Yeah.
The big easy in the ground. Oh, yeah. You don't want to go to hell. It's super
That's just
easy.
You know what? I'm tired of people painting hell in a negative light. Okay? We're taking it back. It's the big easy in the ground.
Yeah.
Whereas heaven is the big apple in the sky.
Yeah, the big apple pie in my eye.
It's the pie in your eye in the sky. Hell is the big easy McSleazy in the greasy. You slide on down there. It's hot like a fryer. Who doesn't like a fryer?
Who doesn't like a fryer?
It smells like pork cracklings. Except they're people. But it's yum. So Jason goes there at some point. But at first,
spoiler,
Jason is alive again. He died in the last one, but whatever. We don't care.
Once again they've retconned the last movie.
I will say at the beginning of this, I was like, why is this chick going in this really nice car going to this cabin just to be alone? And then, oh shit, he gets ambushed by the feds and they murder the fuck out of him. They shoot him like 800 times and then they throw grenades at him and blow him up.
And then doesn't a plane go by and drop like a fucking missile on him?
It might as well have.
He explodes.
The head fed says incoming, and then it's like they throw a grenade, but then there's a little like small like fireworks explosion and then a boom explosion. And
the first time I saw this, because I was a Jason head for since I was a little young, and I remember seeing this
didn't
movie.
take swimming lessons as a kid is what I'm getting. Yeah.
No, I did not. I was not a good swimmer, and but I remember liking that. I remember liking the kind of subversion of. Oh shit, this lady, she's about to get killed, and then suddenly, oh my god, the military is gonna fucking murder Jason, and I was like, oh my god.
So after Jason is exploded, I love that the head fed is like, now clean that shit up. Anyway, I'm talking to the hot chick fed. So here we are. We're in another sheriff's hospital. This is a federal hospital, and. It's autopsy time with low rent Danny Glover. And low rent Danny Glover
is like, I'm getting too old for these autopsies. And then the Predator gives him a gun, an old shotgun.
So I love that this guy is taking the autopsy guy to the next level. We were talking about in this era of movies how they're like eating. Nah, he's drinking a beer.
Oh yeah.
Now, here's the deal. The way he's drinking it's like they're trying to illustrate like, oh, this makes the job go down easier. Now, he should be like drinking from a flask. He should be drinking like hard alcohol. He's like, I'm just casually sipping on a beer while I'm doing an autopsy in a federal like place.
Yeah, he's sipping on his Bud Ice.
Yeah. Cracks the top of his Steel Reserve, takes a little swig off of it, drinks down the nose cone, fills it up with OJ because that's a brass monkey and that's how low rent Danny Glover likes to get down.
Yeah, it seems like the preparation of taking down Jason was so methodical, so like, this is how we're doing it, we're executing it, bam!
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, cool, we got the body, all right, we don't care what happens next. We'll have one guy take care of it with no other thing happening.
But the guy who just left, I'm doing air quotes, just left to go pick up their pizza and I guess garlic knots or whatever was in the bag, he comes back and he's like, you just saw me, and they're like, ID, and he's like, oh, brother, and like shows him his ID, and then goes in, and he's like, oh, hey, low rent Danny Glover, no worries that you're all covered in blood all over your mouth from just eating a heart. Anyway, I got the pizza. Isn't it cool that we can say whatever we want to Jason? Yeah, fuck you, you dead body piece of shit. Isn't that funny? Hey, isn't that funny? Wait, why are you killing me now?
Oh, look at you, Jason. Would you go to pieces or something?
Wow, Jason, you look like you goes to hell. And then title sequence.
Did you notice that one of the guards was Kane Hodder? It was him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The guy who plays Jason in all the movies? That's funny.
That plays Jason in all the movies, and in this movie for like 5 seconds before it became like, oh, Jason could be anybody now. He's body of the Snatchers.
Yeah. Yep. It's Fallen with Denzel Washington, except it's Jason.
Except it's low rent Denzel by way of low rent.
And then when he gets out and he kills everybody, and it shows on the TV, the name of the really great high-profile show is American Case File. Yeah, good old ACF. That's my favorite show.
They're being covered already.
Tonight on American Case File, these documents say that someone committed crimes, and it's not good.
It's not good. Wait till you see what happens next time on the next episode.
Do you know where your America is?
If you've answered yes, no. So anyway, Jason / some guy starts killing people.
And then the mouth pooping starts. That's right. In apropos of no other movie in the franchise, Jason first of all, the fact that he transfers himself to other body, that's brand new lore.
Brand new.
And
9 movies in.
And now the way he does it is by holding them down and pooping out of his mouth into their mouth, a la South Park, only in the future. I don't know what else to say about that.
Yeah.
It made me physically ill to watch that.
Yeah, it was gross, and it came off as comical in some parts, all parts, because you see this actor and they just grab the person by the head and they're just like. Like they don't even like cut to anything. It's just like them like making out with them.
All right, first of 2 of my favorite quotes of the entire Jason franchise or Friday the 13th franchise are in this film. And I don't remember why this is said, but it doesn't matter because there's no way ever anywhere this could be appropriate. Well, that makes me think of a girl in a little pink dress sticking a hot dog through a donut. That is, I rewound it and I had the subtitles on to make sure I heard it right. The second of these 2 is, you think you're ready for Tony the Wonder Llama? That is a direct quote. That is the weirdest thing. Look, I've watched a lot of porn, and that is the weirdest thing I've ever heard someone say when they're about to fuck someone. Are you ready? Oh, no, you think it's even more challenging. You think you're ready for Tony the Wonder Llama?
Well, I think it was supposed to be Tony the Tiger, but then the censors came in and were like, oh, you can't say that.
I loved Blade the Jason Hunter. Blade Helsing. Jason Hunter. Oh yeah, I'm also fucking your girlfriend in the diner. He's
what? Wait, what was that in the jail with teenager McThirty-year-old where he was like, "I'll only tell you if I could break your fingers." Like, well,
and they were like they were in cells that were separated by bars. And then they had so like the cells were up against each other, front facing. So like,
yeah,
the bars.
It was a small town.
Yeah, but that means that's a paradox. That doesn't make sense.
What?
The only bars were the ones that they talked through. Behind them were concrete walls, so their cells were like the bars were like a shared wall of their cells.
Wait, no, that's how it works. They were using the same set that they use in that I Love Lucy episode. I Love Loopy.
I love lupus.
I love loopless.
Yeah, that was a PSA film.
It was loopless
about the dangers of having
seal.
lupus. Lucy.
And then he goes to the bank, or he goes to the diner and talks to Sweaty Face with Husband Man.
Yeah, her boyfriend is 30 years older than her and also the town sheriff. And he's like, I don't like that. And he's like, I'm going to fuck your girlfriend, basically. And you can tell that he extra didn't like it because Blade Van Helsing was a gentleman of African descent. And old man, white sheriff guy seemed... Look, he was 35 years older than his girlfriend. He should have expected her to be going out and getting like Carl the Wonder Coral. Coral's alive. It's an animal. It works.
I did say it wasn't.
Penis. Or like, Johnny the Happy Horse dick or whatever. If we're sticking with animal metaphors. And she wasn't, he was just like, I'm here to hunt one thing, and that's Jason. Oh, and also I'm going to fuck your girlfriend. While I wear this slick-ass cowboy hat.
Because she's a Voorhees, and we all know one thing about Voorhees is that they are alive. And I'm going to do it with all of them. He was actually going to have sex with Jason himself, but he transferred bodies.
I thought his character was hilarious.
How about the idea that only a Voorhees can kill a Voorhees?
Brand new
and
lore also.
Only a Voorhees... Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this because I don't think there's any other movie to compare it to. All of a sudden, oh shit, I can't be in my Jason body. I have to go into another body, and I can do that, but the body I inhabit doesn't last very long. I have to inhabit another Voorhees body. And I guess originally his intention was to be the baby in the lady's belly, and it was like, wait, so you were just going to be a baby? Like, can you imagine a little baby with a little hockey mask killing like people?
Yep, it's called Child's Play. So,
check out our episode last week, guys.
So Joey B, the woman that owns the diner, she's hilarious.
Oh yeah, she reminded me of a character from some show or something. And now, lovely spectators, we come to the end. The end of entertainment with ex-Jason.
That's right. I'm an ex-Jason fan after watching this movie, for sure.
No, I was thinking like, oh shit, it's my crazy ex-Jason. I got my new Jason right here, but oh shit.
Oh my God, it's like the last movie of Child's Play when he's got multiples.
He's got multiples. Okay, so this movie is about space.
That's right. The Final Frontier.
It's basically a remake of the hit film Alien, except instead of Sigourney Weaver, it's Jason, and instead of an alien, it's a shitty movie.
I thought for sure you were going to say, but instead of being good, it's this. So...
Probably the most horrible characters of all the other Fridays. Like even the main characters, I'm just like, sure.
There were main characters? They all felt tertiary. This whole thing. Mm-hmm. So all of these movies coming full circle on the 10th one. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Because X is Roman for 10. So now you can go to Italy and say, I would like a X of pizza. That means 10 pizzas.
Well, yeah, because, 1, 0, 0. It's a circle like a pizza. And everyone knows that X marks the pizza.
That's why pizzas are cut into triangles because they start with an X. And then they just make another X. That's right. Pizza XX. That's how you get slices. Yeah. You're welcome.
But if you go to Pizza XXX, ooh,
tiny
baby.
slices. Yeah, this movie, all of these movies were edited with these weird fade out commercial break things. But this is the first one. Well, it's not. But this one, the most feels like it was something I'd watch on like ABC on a Sunday at 11 a.m. that was made for TV. Like,
yeah, this definitely had a. Well, I mean, there were a lot of television shows like Xena, Hercules, Cleopatra 2525 that had that kind of look of, oh, this feels like a sci-fi original. That's what this felt like.
Yeah, this definitely felt like it was made at the studio in Las Colinas, except like the cheaper one.
the one that's actually, well, it's just the alley.
It's a car dealership, and it's, before you ask, no, it's used cars, and no, they are not on the level.
They're one of those places that glorify if you don't have credit, you can get a car.
You walk in and you're like, oh, is this like that old, like the Ugly Duckling drive time like kind of place? And they're like, no, we don't serve champagne here, if that's what you're asking.
No, if you want a car, we're giving it to you.
No questions asked. You're not allowed to open the trunk.
But you do have to sign a lot of paperwork that involves you giving us way more above the Kelly Blue. You know what I'm saying?
They are all waivers.
And they all start right now.
So these folks on this space train are like, hey, we got this cryo chamber. Let's open it. And it's Jason. And they're like, oh, we know who that is somehow, even though that he was 400 years ago. And why do we have him here?
He was.
And why is he there? Why do they have him?
Yeah, they came there to. Okay, so this is my main. Okay.
This movie's so hard to talk about. It makes no sense.
There's so much. Okay, here's the thing. Like we have to wrap this shit up. So I have so many main problems with this. I'm just gonna I have to edit my own problems and say, hey, the real one is. Just make them space pirates, because that's literally what they're doing.
Right.
They come to this area, and they're like, oh, we're going to loot this cryo place, and then we're going to try to sell it or something.
And then we move on to Robot with No Nipples. Look.
Hey, she was a good person.
She wasn't even a person. She was a robot.
She was very much like Edward Scissorhands. You know what I mean? She wanted to please her master. She was like, "Hey, I'm a person," and then her handler was like, "I made you these hands, and you have them now."
That's right, Edward Scissor Tits. That's a good idea for a Cenobite, Edward Scissor Tits.
Edward Scissor Tits, yeah, because every man is like, ooh, I want those golden globes.
I'm going to tear your chest apart with my scissor tits.
I want those golden bozos. And it's like, oh, your hands got cut. No, but Jason comes to life, and what does he do? Oh, shit, the first kill on the ship, which is... first off, everyone's wearing rent outfits.
Not rented, like the musical rent.
Yeah, exactly. So they're all wearing like for some reason, everyone thought the future would be like, oh, everyone's wearing rags and like what? Why?
It was the cast of Newsies. They had gotten leave for the day, and they were like, let's make an extra $20, Mac. Oh, I'll be the nippleless robot, and I'll be the guy named after the angel of death that immediately dies.
And I'll be the doctor.
It's me, Dr. Ripoff, because I'm going to sell Jason for all he's worth. That's how we play it in the news game. Hey, let me ask you guys a question. How do we know anyone here is tough? I haven't heard anyone sing a song yet.
And they start going, ooh, we're the Jasons, and we're the other Jasons.
We're the space guys. We're afraid of Jason, but we're not because he's frozen.
And then a machete goes, ah!
And then they're like, let's play it cool, boys. Real cool.
And then he gets punched in the face and his head flies.
Before you add us, I know that's West Side Story and not Newsies, all right? we're doing all the musicals.
It's it's just like this movie. It's a real hodgepodge of great American classics. So no, Doctor Lady is like, I'm here and I'm doing it, and then Jason puts her head in the ice thing that makes her face.
Oh yeah, because on spaceships, I don't know if you know this, but they always have to have a sink full of liquid nitrogen.
Oh yeah.
Listen.
Well, they're playing it loosey-goosey in this town.
It's kind of like, you never know when you're going to need a spare tire. You never know when you're going to need a little baggie of peanuts in your car, as a snack.
Sure, yeah. Everybody
on a
that.
spaceship, liquid nitrogen is like the peanuts or spare tire of a person.
No, but Dr. Person gets her face smashed up from the ice.
Yep, as one does.
Which I will say, that's probably the only good thing about this movie, is that...
Someone getting their face smashed up?
No, it's like, whoa, that's a pretty cool kill.
It was a good
And guess
it was
what?
A good kill, yeah.
And I hope that didn't get you horny, because you're about to get the blue balls of slasher movies, because there's not another fun kill in this movie. In fact, nearly all of the kills are off screen.
Yeah, there's really not much,
It's
at
so
all.
mind-boggling. A series that's known for fucking Tom Savini, dude. Because I know in the other ones, sure, it would cut, but it would cut back and forth, or it'd be it would cut, but then it would cut back and kind of see the aftermath.
Yeah.
But in this, the aftermath was just, oh, they're dead.
It was just math.
They're just on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was math murderer.
I love that they have this simulation area where they practice their skills, I guess. They've got these terrible alien
Well, I just
sims.
thought it was it was VR ahead of its time.
Yeah, man. See Illuminati.
Yeah.
But so they're they trick Jason.
Yeah, Jason walks in.
into there by having campers and these Sims take off their clothes, and they're like, we love premarital sex.
I did like the android. I thought she was fun. She was a little spunky, I'm going to fucking murder everything. And she does. She fucking makes a ham salad out of fucking Jason X and dispatches
My
him.
doctor keeps telling me to eat more salad. You got the right idea.
Ham salad.
I have trouble saying that her acting was good, but it's hard because I think that, you can only do so much with the source material.
Mm-hmm.
You can be the best actor in the world, but, if you're doing Jason X, it's like making the best ham salad you can possibly make. It's still at the end of the day going to be a pile of slimy pork products.
Slimy, briny pork products. Well, there's only one way to skin a Jason.
And that's with a ham salad.
Can we discuss the ending of the movie?
Fuck no. Well, folks, here we are. It's the end of the franchise frenzies for Halloween, with the exception of the live show, which you need to come to. So it's time to rank the Jason movies. Friday the 13th, all million of them. And as we addressed last week, we do it backwards. So we rank them from best to worst. Jono, what is in your number one slot? What is your favorite to least favorite?
Oh my God. My number one, best in the litter. Let me tell you.
I know I'm going to hate it, whatever it is.
Let me tell you, brother. Number one is Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason Lives.
Shit. I thought you were going to say 3.
Nope. That's the second one.
Jason Lives is your number one.
Jason Lives is the best because it has meta humor. It kind of understands that, oh shit, we're number 6. We got to just go fucking balls out and crazy with it. And it does. And I think it's great. What's your number one pick, please?
My number one is the first one.
Okay.
It's just, I love the rug pull at the end with Mrs. Voorhees, or not really a rug pull. I guess it's a rug pull to me because I knew about Jason beforehand, but it's just a good classic slasher.
Yeah, even though it was a ripoff of Halloween. My number 2 is going to be, what was my number 2? Oh, right. Friday the 13th, Part 3. I just said it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I like 3. I'm sorry. I think the final girl is probably one of my favorites of all the final girls in the Friday movies. And I don't know. The gimmick is stupid with the 3D, but I liked the cinematography. I liked the differentness of it. So, number 2, bro. What do you got?
Are you ready?
No.
The one that I had the second most fun watching, Jason X.
Oh my God. No.
Here's the deal. A lot of them in the middle are boring and just another slasher. Jason X was so terrible that I laughed a whole bunch.
Oh, wow.
And so I enjoyed it.
Sure.
The second most.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. That's fine.
So my number 3
yeah.
is number 9. Jason Goes to Hell.
No!
Again, for the same reason, because there was so much wrong with it that I had a blast watching it and laughing. I mean, come on. Come on, Tony the Wonder Llama. Mouth pooping. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is number 4. We are all over the place with our list.
I know, yeah.
Number 4 because I like the family element and Crispin Glover. You can't, I mean, gosh dang. There it is. So number 4, what do you got?
My number 4 is number 4.
Okay, there you go.
I really liked that. I actually really liked Corey Feldman in this too, and I liked Crispin Glover. I'm literally having to look at my notes to remember which one's which to make sure I've got them straight. My brain's so fucking fried.
Yeah, I'm doing it off the cuff, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just, I get it.
Number 5 for me is number 2.
Number 2. Okay,
I love Pillowcase Man.
Pillowcase.
Enough said. I just love Pillowcase Man.
Sure. Number 5 for me. We're on 5, right? Yeah. Number 5 for me is 10X. Jason X. Because as much as I genuinely believe it has the weakest kills, I liked Android Lady, and I liked the second half of the movie and how it got super camp. And I was like, I've been waiting for this the whole movie. So number 6, what do you got?
Number 6 is number 3. It's funny. Spooky biker gang, 3D gimmicks, but hockey mask. So there you go.
Okay.
Number 3. So what number are we on?
We're on 7.
Number 7 is number 4.
At this point, let's just do
the rest of them. Suck.
No,
okay. The rest of them suck. Okay.
Just do 7 through 10 for you. Right. Okay, go.
4, final chapter.
Boo.
6, Jason Lives.
Boo.
8, Manhattan.
I can't believe it.
Steam Pockets. 7, New Blood. And then finally. 7 meaning that was number 7, not my number.
It's a little confusing.
My last bottom, number 5, A New Beginning. We didn't even want to talk about it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Okay, so
do you want to try and remember where we are at rankings?
No, 7th. I got it. 7 through 10. So my number 7 spot is Jason 1.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. It's finally making an appearance. Isn't that crazy? No, you boo. Your number 8 spot was 6. Fuck you. Not even in the top
sucks.
5. Anyway, 7 is 1. 8 is 2.
Pillowcase Man.
Number 9 is number 9. And then 10, 5. That's the only...
Where was 8?
8?
Yeah, where was Manhattan in there?
So I went, okay, if I'm remembering, I didn't write this down. This is all off the top of our heads, guys. So let's just do it all over again. Okay.
No.
Well, you heard it here, folks. We have done it. All 502 9876301.
Painstakingly, emphasis on the pain.
Like Mr. Hellraiser.
Folks, make sure that you come to see us live at Dallas Comedy Club on October 30th at 8:30 p.m. on the main stage. Tickets are available at dallas-comedyclub.com. If you have ideas for battles, if you want to connect with us, please email us at battles@filmfightspodcast.com. Oh my God, I'm so ready to be done with horror.
I think I am a man who...
Bye!
You know what? Those opening credits are fucking awesome in Jason 3 with the fucking Michael Jackson and the thing, and it's all... Ooh, if you're gonna come to Friday 13th camp, you're gonna die.
I said it's crystal clear what lake you're coming to. Camp Crystal Lake.
Camp Crystal